another live video. Just did another live video about a week ago on OBS and streaming to Instagram, and in this live video we're going to be doing a tutorial on OBS itself. A lot of people have been asking me just the basics of broadcasting, and it's also needed for a bit of training at work as well, so I thought why not join the two together, do a live video nerd Singh, and talk a little bit about OBS and answer some questions as well that I put out on a poll on my Instagram. So let's get started. Okay, just making sure that I'm live, and it seems like we're all good here. So OBS is a broadcasting application available on Mac and PC. It's free, and that's probably the best thing about it. There are other live streaming apps you can use, like Livestream, that's made by Vimeo, and there's Wirecast as well. I've had experience of using those two. They're paid, quite expensive. My favourite out of all of them is probably Livestream. It was Singh Inside, the Malaysian Sewadars, that put me onto that, and I really like that app, but it's not cheap. OBS is free. It stands for Open Broadcast Software. It's quite simple to use, and it's the favourite for many YouTubers because it's free and quite easy to use. So that's what I'm going to teach you today. So we'll go through the interface of all the different settings, how to input a camera, microphone, how to then broadcast to YouTube directly, but also then how to broadcast to Restream. Restream is a website that you would send your broadcast from OBS to this website, and then from that website you can then distribute it to whatever platforms you want: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram even. That was what my previous live stream was on. Go check that out. There'll be a link in the description to that. And even Twitch. If you were to broadcast to YouTube and Facebook separately from OBS, then you would be uploading your video connection twice or 3 times, depending on however many platforms. So Restream's a really good website. It's not the only website that does this. There's one called Caster. Those are the kind of the 2 big ones, but I would say Restream is probably the most reliable and respected and well used one amongst YouTubers. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm just going to show you my screen. How do I do that? Okay, here we are. So this is my OBS that's open for this broadcast, but I'm going to open up a new one. Just minimize everything out of the way. Alright. So here is OBS. obsproject.com, I think the website is, to download it from. And let's go through some settings. So as you open it up, you'll have a blank screen here, and we need to add some sources. We need to add some video, we need to add some audio, and let's kind of go through those settings. So in this section here where it says sources, if we click the plus button, then we've got all these different options to add different things. So let's just go through them real quick. Audio input, so say you had a USB microphone. This microphone has an XLR output, so that can't go into the computer. That has to go into an interface, which is just next to my camera. It's a Zoom F8, and then from that it can either plug in as a USB interface into the computer. I actually have an output going from the F8 into my camera, and then I'm just connecting my camera with the audio, and that way the audio and video come together with the camera, which means there's no syncing issues. If you were to connect a DSLR to OBS and then you connect an audio source separately, your computer will receive the audio source a little quicker than the video one, so then you'll have to sync them up in OBS, and it's just an extra hassle. Blackmagic device, so you cannot plug a DSLR camera into your computer just with a HDMI port, a cable, or a USB cable. You have to use a capture card, And Blackmagic is a company that makes capture cards. So you would take a HDMI output into your capture card, and then the capture card would have a USB output. Then you plug into your computer, and then your computer would then be able to see the image coming from your camera. Browser. So we'll be using this later when I show you how to use Shabad OS. So you can actually display a website on OBS if you so wished. Color source, that's if you just want a background with a certain color on it. Display capture, that's what I'm using at the moment to show you this screen. So you click on display capture, and then you can pick which screen you want. I've got two screens here, so I can pick display 1 or 0, and then I can crop it. What else have we got here? Image, so you can just browse through your files and then pick any image you want. Slideshow, same way, but with multiple. I'm not sure what that is. Media source, if you want to connect to a file on your computer. I'll be showing that later with B-roll. I've got a question about that. Text, if you want to add text, rolling script, text. VLC, this is good if you want to do like live streaming of like Ethan, 24-hour streams on YouTube, that kind of stuff. So you could create a playlist on VLC, export that, and then you use VLC video source and connect to that. Video capture device, so in the same way as Blackmagic device, Blackmagic isn't the only company that make capture cards. Elgato is another reputable make that make capture cards. Then you would click on capture device. And window capture is similar to similar to display capture, but you're not capturing the whole display. You can actually hone into one specific app on your computer, and you could use this. Say, for example, you were in a Zoom call and you wanted to broadcast that to YouTube, then you could actually window capture just that Zoom call with the people in it and the conversation, but not your whole screen with everything else in it. And then that would be inputted into here, and then you could scream like that. So those are the inputs. So let's just add video and audio. That would be the bare minimum, wouldn't it? So I'm already using video capture device on my other open OBS app for this broadcast. So I'm going to click on video capture device, and I'll just call it webcam. And then I click on device, and then I've got my option for my Blackmagic Ultra Studio Mini recorder, and I'm going to choose the webcam. And then if you don't want to choose the preset, then you can manually select resolutions and frame rates. But for the sake of the webcam, 720 is fine, that's what it is. And we need to add some audio, so click on plus, audio input, and then you can choose here. So I've got my AirPods in, I could use them. I could use my audio from my camera, which is from here because this is connected to the camera. I could use the built-in microphone. Probably not the best one to use, but if that's all you have, then yes, you could use that. That's my F8, my audio recorder connected to the camera via USB. This is a virtual mixer, so this is if you want to actually have people listen to the audio from the computer. So let's say if you wanted to do a 24-hour stream and you were playing Ethan from the computer, that's how you do that. I'll show you that in another video. And a Zoom audio device. So in this one, I'll just pick that for now. And so when I speak into the mic, you can see that you've got a level here. Okay, so when you click on the actual source, then you can click and drag it. And plus, then maybe you want to add an image, and you'd maybe want to add a logo. Like if it was your brand or whatever, you could add your logo in the corner and source that. So that's basically it. In terms of audio settings, if you click on the cog, then you can click on advanced audio settings, and here you can change the offset. So if you have audio separate to your camera, like if you're using a webcam and a USB mic, it wouldn't be a problem. But if you're using a DSLR with a capture card, then probably you will have delays and you will have to do that. So normally your audio would be coming in faster, and therefore you would want to add a positive sync offset of whatever it is, 5, 10, 15, 20 milliseconds. If you want to be able to hear yourself and what the mic sounds like, then this is where you would turn on monitor audio. I got that turned off, otherwise I'd be getting confused because I'd be able to hear myself through the mic. And also, so that's that. In here, in filters, you can actually add compressor and do some kind of clever audio stuff there as well, which is quite cool. Anyway, so let's have a look at the settings, and let's go through the settings, okay? So nothing I really want to show you in general. Stream, let me come to that after. So output, this is an interesting one. So out of the box, the video bitrate will be 2500, and this is actually set. So even if you're saying I want a 720p stream, I want a 1080p stream, I want a 4K stream, it will have the bitrate set there. So you actually need to change that, and I will leave a link in the description that gives you recommended bit rates for the resolution that you're broadcasting in, and Restream prefers certain bit rates too. Thank you DGN Settings for putting me onto that. If you go to speedtest.net, you can then test your internet connection and see what your internet's capable of, because you don't want to be broadcasting a upload speed that your internet can't handle. So I've picked 5,000. My internet can handle much more than that, but I've chosen 5,000 to have semi-decent stream. I only found this after my previous stream because I could see myself on OBS and it was crystal clear, but when I was uploading it to YouTube, it was quite pixelated and I was a bit confused because I had a very solid internet connection, and it's to do with this setting. So that's something to keep in mind. Audio bitrate, put it on 128, that's what YouTube prefers. If you're going to be recording OBS onto your computer as well as streaming, then this is where you would choose where it would download onto, and then you can choose what kind of quality. MP4 is good. I wouldn't pick MKV, because if you're going to put that into an a video editor and then start editing, then MKV isn't supported. So MP4 MOV, perfect. Audio, so this is where, if your audio's not come up when you inputted it, this is the settings where you would have a look for things. So you might need to enable a device and pick the one, and then that will add it. So when I click OK, then I'll add another audio bar. So that's where you would do that. Now video, this one's important. So this is where you choose what you want your screen to be and your broadcast to be. So here I've chosen 1080. So what I've had to do there is, I've got a 1080p broadcast, but my webcam that you can see me on here is actually 720p, so you'd actually be making that image bigger than it is. And you might want this because you might not be using that webcam all the time, or your webcam, you might have it smaller, and then you might want the desktop in the background, or you might have images and things coming up. So that's for you to decide. And also your internet connection as well. If you know that your internet isn't great, or you're using a data connection, if you're broadcasting Ethan out in the field, then you might want to choose 720. So that's your canvas, that's what this box is, and then your output is then what you're streaming to YouTube or Restream or wherever. So then you would choose that resolution. So in this case, I've chosen 1080. You might want to choose 720. So you've got your video ready, you've got your audio ready, you've chosen your resolution, and now it's time to think about where and how we're going to stream this OBS to the internet. So you can click on this streaming tab and click on service, and then if you clicked here on YouTube, then you would be directly streaming to YouTube if that's what you wanted to do. So if I go to I'm just going to close WhatsApp down so I don't get any more messages. If I go to YouTube, right, we need to make something called an event to do this, okay? So we click create and go live. Going to click on stream on the top left here. And then if nothing comes up here, then you might have to click on new, but we've already got events. So say for example it's a Hokonomakata. let me just do Sanskrit look actually. So I'll reuse those settings, and then I'm going to choose the title of my video. So this is the video that's the title of the YouTube video. So this might be today, it might be part 20, and then I'll just put test. Okay, cool. So got my, and then I want it to be public. If it's unlisted and then I go live, then nobody will to see it on the internet. This is where I put my description, and then this is important when you're actually going to go live, because when this event, when we click create, then there's a place on your YouTube channel which will actually show this event and have a timer, and people can, can add that as a reminder. This is where you can add a thumbnail. So if you were to design a thumbnail beforehand, and then people can be enticed by the topic that you're going to be talking about. Thumbnails are very, very powerful. Not made for kids. So this is not suggesting that it's for adults and it's adult material. It's that there's a specific YouTube app for kids, so it's not specifically children's content like a cartoon or something like that. Here, if you wanted to add an age restriction, we wouldn't want to do that. Then we'd click no, don't restrict my videos, and then we click create. So there's my event created. Okay, and here is my stream key. So if I copy this stream key, then I would then paste it into here, and when I click start streaming, then it would stream this webcam, this audio to this this YouTube. I'm not going to do that at this stage because then it'll go live on Basics Singh. So you'd just one more time would copy this stream key into here. We click OK, and then we click start streaming. When we click start streaming, it will then connect to here, and then there will be one more step where it'll say start streaming, and then you're live on YouTube. But we're going to do something a bit different, because we don't want to just go live on YouTube, and many people don't just want to go live on YouTube. They want to go live on YouTube and Facebook, and more recently there is a way of going live on Instagram as well from a computer, from OBS. So what we're going to do is we've made our event, and that was important to do that anyway. So this is the website called Restream. Okay, and once you signed up and got an account and stuff, that's a separate video, or it's quite straightforward to do that. You would add your channels. So here's a channel called YouTube Events, and I'll click on cog, and I'll click on edit settings, and I'll click on event, and there's my test. So that's the event that we made. So now it's going to have that title, and then I'll click on save. I'm not going to click save because we're about to go live actually in about 5-10 minutes after this live video is done for the Basics Singh morning Kokonomagata. You might have seen the WhatsApp in the top right giving me the title to do. So we're not going to change anything. We'd click on update titles, and in the Facebook section I'm going to paste that title that I've chosen for YouTube, and this is where the Facebook title will be determined. And if you wanted to put in a description, this is where you'd put it in, and then you click on update. I'm not going to click update, but that's where you would do it. And so then we have our YouTube event connected, we have our Facebook title connected, and then this is the stream key that then I would copy and put into here, and I'd go to settings, I go to stream, and instead of service of YouTube, I'd go to the service of Restream, RTMP, auto detect the server, click on the stream key, and I'd paste that in, click on OK, and I'll start streaming. Now I'm not going to do that, because if I do that, then I'll be streaming to 2 Restream accounts, and it might then decrease my stream quality. But what will happen is you'll receive the image here, the live image, and it won't be live on YouTube and Facebook yet. Then you can actually toggle. So if I just bring this across, you can actually see here that this is the Restream. I'm using 2 Restream accounts. So here's this Restream account I'm using at the moment to go live with this video, and you can see here that I can see myself, and I can press this button and hear myself, and then I can pause it. And then once you're happy with the stream. So this is quite good, because then you can actually live see on the internet that your connection's okay, the sound's okay, everything's like all right, the bit rate's all right, resolution's okay, frame rate's cool, you're not dropping frames. Then when you're ready to go live, you would tick those boxes. So I've ticked YouTube events, and I'm connected to the YouTube event I created for this YouTube video. And then I made that title on Facebook in the update title section. So here, how to live stream with OBS and restream to YouTube, Facebook and Instagram with Shabad OS. And then destinations back there, and then I would tick that, and you can see here that one person is watching my YouTube video and 2 people are watching on Facebook. And that's it. When you are finished your live stream, then first of all, when you go live from Restream to YouTube and Facebook, so when you press these, I would count to about 4 or 5, and that's when the video will actually be live on those platforms. Facebook seems to connect a little bit quicker, and YouTube connects maybe 5 or 6 seconds after. So in those seconds, I think today I messed up a little bit, probably didn't start bang on, but you want to probably open, if it's geeked then that's fine, it'll just start when it starts. But if you're actually going to live stream a guitar or something like that, then you want to start with something that isn't pertinent to the introduction of the video, like, you know, for the welcome to this video, an introduction, that kind of thing, just so that you can kind of check. And then at the beginning of this video, you noticed that I was just kind of making sure everything was connected and everything was, you know, like the broadcast was all right. Once you're finished, in a similar way, you want to toggle these off, and then the connection between Restream and the platforms you're streaming to will be severed, and the streams will end on those platforms. And then your final step would then be to press stop streaming. Okay, I don't know if I mentioned that before, that once you have selected your stream here where you want to stream to and click on the stream key, then the final step would be to press start streaming, and that's what will send this OBS to Restream. Sorry if I didn't mention that. And if you press start recording, that will record everything that's happening inside your OBS to the settings that you chose, and the settings, the, you know, MP4 in whatever folder you choose at whatever quality you choose. Something to be aware of is when you are streaming to Restream from OBS, some things to monitor. So before you go live on Facebook or YouTube or wherever, check this bottom right corner here and check that it's green. That means it's a good connection. And check the speed, that it is what you put in the video settings. Check here your CPU usage. You know, if it's quite high, then you might have lagging. And check your dropped frames. If you're getting lots of dropped frames, that means it's lagging. It's missing frames. If you've got problems there, then you might want to reassess the situation. Maybe you need to connect your computer to a different Wi-Fi, or wire, you know, connect it with Ethernet if you can, or get other people off the Wi-Fi. Maybe you need to close down apps to save some CPU. Maybe you need to reset your router. So that's kind of some troubleshooting you can do. If you don't have a good internet connection, then you can have the best camera connected and the best audio connected. It's just it's not gonna be watchable, is it? Okay, so let's now talk about some questions we had. Let me just pull them up real quick. Okay, so Shabad OS. Okay, so basically with Shabad OS, what we do is, I'm going to go back to my desktop, and as I mentioned before, so let's open Shabad OS first. So here's Shabad OS. You download that from shabados.com. Open it up, press the bottom right button, the plus, and let's just search a Shabad. Okay. And we got the Shabad open now. Press the settings button, and we come to the bottom, and we click on this overlay. Okay. Then we've got overlay URL. I'm going to click on that, and it's going to copy it. And then I'm going to go to OBS. I'm going to go to my other OBS, click on plus, and I'm going to click on, actually I'll just click on my other OBS account because of that looks a bit dodgy, doesn't it, the Inception. click on plus, click on browser, Shabad OS, and in here I paste my URL. Then I need to choose my resolution, and that you can get from settings and then video. And I'm going to remove the CSS, and then I'm going to press OK. And there you go, it's on. What if you want to change some settings on it? No problem. So you go to the settings as we did before, and you go to the bottom to overlay. Overlay name. Here are lots of different themes, so you just can choose different themes like that. You just toggle through whatever you prefer. There's lots of options here for you to get started very, very quickly, and then you can choose whether it's Lurdyvod. If you've got an assist with Lurdyvod, I'm not sure why that's not working. Probably, oh yeah, it is working. It's just the colors they're not they're showing. If you want different translations, if you want your transliterations there, you can have that. If you want to create your own, then you click on this open overlay folder, and here's a CSS file. You open that up, and then that's for you to rename to whatever you want, change the CSS, and then you can connect that to Shabad OS if you want. So you'll need coding knowledge for that. Or if you so wish, you can get in touch with the Shabad OS team on Instagram, Shabad_OS, and they are very helpful. They will help you design your own overlays, which they did for Geerathan recently. Check them out on YouTube, Geerathan, youtube.com/Geerathan. They do Geerathan every Sunday at the moment during this lockdown period, between, I think it's 7 and 8, or maybe 8 and 9, and they have a custom made Geerathan branded overlays. And so that's it. And then whatever you do on where's my Shabad OS gone? I'll just use this window. Okay, so click on here. So whatever you do then on this Punkthy, then it will change it live on your broadcast. Now I don't want to make this video about Shabad OS. I will make a specific video about Shabad OS, but to answer your question, that's how you do it. And if you wanted to then control it from a computer, if you wanted to control Shabad OS from your phone, a separate phone, you have to be on the same Wi-Fi currently. There are ways around that, but I'll leave that for another day. In a similar way, you just go to the settings. I'll just get my URL, click on it to copy it, come to my browser, paste that in, come back, and then I'll just press that actually, and here is my Shabad OS inside a browser. And then if I click on this, then I can actually control it there. So this browser could be Safari or Chrome on your phone, and then you would click on that, you would type in that IP, and then you can press the plus, or you could just press /controller/navigator, and then you could do that. And that's Shabad OS. So hope that helped. Okay, another question: how do you add B-roll during a broadcast? Okay, this is a cool question. So I'm pretty sure I got something ready for you guys to show you. Nope, where is it? Oh man, Jol. So B-roll comes from the terminology of when you used to have two cameras shooting on a film roll, and then you'd have your main camera and you'd have your B camera as an A and B. So B-roll is like this cinematic footage that you would show inside a video edit, and then you'd have another camera angle. It might be slow-mo, might be a different focal length, and you're capturing something within that shot. And with Guruji's Kirpa, when myself and Albil Virji did the broadcast for Birmingham Samagam 2017, we had a lot of fun with this, and it was the first time that we had multiple cameras and we did such a broadcast like this, and it did very well on YouTube, as the Samagam was absolutely beautiful. And the way we did it was, you have to have two cameras. So you have your main camera that's on the Geekden, and then you have another camera. So we was using a Canon 1DX with like 100mm or 70 to 200mm 2.8. So really nice lenses, nice glass, and he could shoot 100 frames per second. So he was then taking slow-mo of like the Jod Saib or like the Shane or like you know, the Bakar, the Double A. And then how do you get that into OBS? So different ways of doing it. What we were doing was we had two computers. So because I'm a video editor and because I video edit all day, every week, you know, like every year, basics, with GoToG's GitHub, I've got built up that kind of speed and familiarity with Final Cut Pro. So he was sending me a bunch of B-roll clips, and then I would cut them together real quick, export them as a video, and then come into OBS, and then I would click on plus and then media source, and then I would add that file, and then I would say that it once I wouldn't loop it. So basically you'd select it and then you'd click on the eye, and then when you click on the eye it will show the B-roll, and then once it's finished you just untoggle it and then it will go back to your main video. And that's what we were doing, and that was really fun. I wanted to show you some was really good B-roll that we did. There we go. Don't know if it'll come up at that time that I selected it. Don't think I'll be able to find it now. This was actually a multicam broadcast, so like that would be the main Geekden, and then that's like the edited source that was going in from all these shots, and this was like a live and unguarded B-roll edited thing. So we had to like, we were like, they went round once around the llama, and then we edited it during that llama, and then the next time we showed it at the same, so like when they were at that same point, then we'd show it from the previous llama. So that was really fun. Another thing you could do though, to save yourself some time, is let me just change it back. I'm getting used to this broadcasting thing. So that's going with two computers and editing and stuff. But one thing you could do is you could take B-roll on another camera, and you could, if you have the capability of a multicam system on your computer, then you could then show that camera angle on your camera and then go to and play that video through your camera, as long as your B-roll is specifically what you want and not like something jittery at the beginning and then something at the end and you moved your camera. But like if you just take that B-roll 10 seconds, whatever it is, and you just show that, then that's another way that you could do it. Another way is that it's just a part of your broadcast. So it's a camera, it's a multicam broadcast, and then it's got a, you know, like a a zoom lens on it, and then you could like do a panning shot. So it'd be basically live B-roll, and we've done that before too. So that's kind of 3 ways that you can do it. Hope that helps. Okay, I'm really sorry about that. So watch my other video on the live stream, and you can get the details on there. I'll probably just delete this part from this live stream. Okay, any other questions? How can I pre-record videos and then schedule it for live stream at my time slot? Okay, so the way you would do that is, instead of streaming, you would press start recording and you would do your video through OBS. So you could add your logo, do your, add your Shabad OS, do your thing, and then it'll start recording, stop recording, and then you will have a file there. And then that file, you would then go to YouTube, and then you would click on create, upload. You'd select your file. Let's see if I can file a real quiz, exports. Right, okay. Let's just pretend it was that video, and then you would choose schedule, and then you say set as premiere, And when you do a premiere, then it won't just make it the full video live at that time, it will actually make it live at that time, and then you'll watch it in live real time. So I'm just going to cancel this, hopefully it doesn't mess up my internet connection. Cool. And similarly on Facebook, there's a premiere feature. So you upload a video on Facebook, and instead of scheduling it in just as a scheduled video, you tick another button that says premiere, and then that will show as a live, it'll show us a live video at that time. And this person also asked about Shabad OS. So that's the questions I think for today. I hope that video helped. I'm really sorry, it's my second live stream. It's very early in the morning, and there's a lot of requests to teach how to use OBS, and I hope this live stream helped. If you have any other questions, you can message on Instagram